Okay, hello everybody. So this is the 45-day plan that I've created for O-level chemistry 5070. And basically what I've done in this is that I've taken the entire content for the O-level chemistry and I've broken down into different chapters and that you need to do at different time intervals. So over the course of 45 days, you need to at least give yourselves 2 hours of study time, focus time at least. That is really needed for you to cover. And this is basically for the P2 paper, okay? P2 that is coming on 29th of September, right? So what I've done is that I have put the topic. So if you see the screen, you can see the topic here, and then the task that is mentioned. So the first task is learning the homologous series, naming organic compounds and alkanes. That you need to cover 70% of the alkanes chapter. And then you have to do at least 3 years of topical past papers from the recent years from this topic. What I've also done is that I have divided the time that you need to put in between for the practice and also for the concept learning. So here, the concept learning is going to be for 90 minutes. Organic is a very detail-oriented topic that needs time, that needs understanding. So you need to if you have 2 hours, you need to spend a very good amount of time, around 1.5 hours, as I have mentioned in the sheet, only learning the concept and perfecting it, because concept is very important. Learning is very important. Past papers, yes, they are very important for the paper as well. But if you don't have the concept, if you just jump onto the past papers without actually understanding the concepts, it's no use actually. Okay, so I've given you the type of activity that you need to do, then the time allocation, and apart from that, I've also attached some resources links that is actually to my videos found on the YouTube that I've put in. So you guys can watch those videos, and using those videos you can actually cover the content quickly, easily, and you can even ask me questions if you want. Like I can attach my WhatsApp number. I've already done that actually. Okay, so the videos are not there for every topic. I'm recording content, so I'll be putting up that as well as soon as I can. But it's a very hectic task. It takes a lot of time. Okay, so I'll just quickly go over this. So the first topic is organic chemistry, of course. That is going to take you around at least 4 to 5 days. Okay, so organic chemistry that goes up until 5 days, actually 6 days. Okay, so for the first week, you're just doing organic chemistry. Okay, and I'll also be creating a video in which I'm going to tell you how to tackle the paper, because there are different ways you can actually get an A static or an A, and nobody ever tells you about it because I don't know, for some reason they don't tell you about it. There are actually quite smarter ways to get that A. Okay, you don't usually need to start from the start of states of matter and then go on to other topics. There are easier ways. Okay, so for the first 6 days, you're gonna do organic chemistry full, and you're just gonna follow this entire structure that I have mentioned. Okay, and with this structure, you're gonna get over at least 3 years of past papers. You're gonna do all the concepts, and then you can move on to other topics. Okay, so here I've mentioned everything: type of activity, time allocation, how much time you need to spend, and what. It's everything is mentioned there. And once you complete it, you've got a checklist column at the right. You can just checklist the entire content that you have completed and move on. Don't miss a day. If you do miss, then you would need to spend more hours the other day completing the 2 days of syllabus. Okay. I can understand if you have like 2 or 3 subjects, you're dealing with 2 or 3 subjects, but you're very close to your papers right now, so you need to spend that sort of time to cover this sort of syllabus. It's a very lengthy syllabus, especially chemistry, right? So once you have done organic chemistry, then you can move on to atoms, elements, and compounds. I've done this for a reason. So I really need you to follow this schedule. I really need you to follow the context of the topics that I have put it in, because I've spent a lot of time trying to figure out what is actually asked. And I'll mention this in another video as well, which is going to be a proper video about how to tackle the paper. And oh, sorry, how to prepare smartly. The tackling paper is going to come later. So then you can jump onto atoms, elements, and compounds. Okay, that is going to take you just a single day. This very easy topic. Past papers are very easy. This is a very mark gaining topic as well. Okay, then you can move on to the periodic table. And then at the 10th day, I also have put in a break as well. Okay, so you can see seventh day you can have a rest. You just choose not to study chemistry, and it's important because if you're just gonna study every day, it's going to be very hectic. You need a rest. You need a day in between. All right. So ninth day you are at the periodic table. Okay. And then 10th, because atoms, elements, and compounds in the periodic table are very much interrelated, the questions are asked interchangeably. So I would suggest that you do it together, as I've mentioned in the sheet, and then you do a combined practice for both. Okay. So it is mentioned in the sheet. You can check it out. And the next topic then you have is stoichiometry. Now, this is a topic where you might need to spend some time. For some, this might be very easy. For me personally, it was the most difficult topic for in O-level chemistry. So everybody has it differently. So you're gonna spend at least 3 days doing this. A lot of questions are asked from this topic and in different sort of topics. Like this stoichiometry comes in different formats, different forms, and different topics. So you're gonna spend 3 days doing this. Past papers of relevant days, everything is mentioned. You can check it out here. So actually 4 days. You see, this is sort of time that I've put in. So 4 days for stoichiometry that you're gonna cover because it takes a lot of time. That's why I've given it 4 days, and then you're gonna go and have a rest. 15th day. 16th day you're gonna study chemical reactions. 16, 17, and 18 you'll be studying chemical reactions, and then 19 you study fuels. This is a very small topic. I You can even do it with organic chemistry if you like, but this is something that is up to you. You can do it whenever you like. Okay, and then you have the revision of all five topics. Now I'll tell you the most important part here. If you have done these five topics properly, these are actually five topics, right? So if you have done these five topics properly, you have covered 45% of the syllabus. 45%, that is a big amount. 45%, or at least that percentage of the paper, means that out of the 80 marks, you have already covered, let's say, 35, 37 marks. Okay, that is a very good amount of paper. And if you talk about thresholds, the threshold for chemistry P2 and A for that paper lies around 55, 56, 57. So if you have done the paper for 37, I hope my calculation is right with the 37 thing. So out of 80 marks, if you have covered 37, 35, which is the 45% I'm talking about out of these five topics, you're actually standing at a B grade, or a very close to a B grade. Okay. So this is why these topics are very important. These are very high weightage topics, almost tested in every paper. Frequency wise, they have come in almost every paper for the last 5 years. Okay. So you really need to be focused on these five topics first, and you need to do them very well, like in very detailed. Their past papers, how they are asked, everything. It is very important. Okay. Now moving on to the next. After you have done the revision of all five topics, then you're going to be doing topicals for all five topics combined. Okay, that is also again very important. 120 minutes you're going to spend just doing the past papers. Very important. All right. Now then you have another day of doing the topical past papers, because again, as I mentioned, it's very important. I might be missing out my schedule because I created this like a week back. So as I'm seeing the sheets, I'm realizing what are the stuff that I have added inside this. So 2 days of topical past papers, you're gonna do it. You'll be in a better position. You will know the answers, and even you at times when you just look at the answers, your mind just kind of start digesting it. So do follow this sheet. Do follow the what I've mentioned in the sheet, and it's gonna really help you. It's really going to help you try to cover the syllabus in good amount of time, or as I say, 45 days. It's actually very much possible. Okay, so then you have again a rest day, and then you can move on to acid, bases, and salts. And you have 3 days for acid, bases, and salts, and the topical pathway for that, because it's not that lengthy of a topic, but it's a bit complex because you're studying all sort of salts and all that stuff. It can get a bit complex. Okay. So 3 days you spend there. Fourth day you've got states of matter, very easy, very small topic. It's gonna get done and dusted in around 1 hour. Attach videos for this as well. As soon as I record content, I'll be attaching the link so that you guys can follow this as well. Okay, so after that, you've got chemical energetics. You can spend 2 days on chemical energetics and you can complete that. Again, it's a very small topic, very easy. I think this deals with all of that bond energies and that sort of stuff, yeah, pathways and all that, right? So you've got chemical energetics and then 31 day, you've got chemistry of the environment. Now, this topic is being frequently tested in the new papers. The last year paper, but I think one before the last as well, it's being tested. So this topic is being tested very recently. That's why you're gonna give it 2 days, you're gonna do the practice, and then move to the next topic. Okay, then revision of all four topics at till 33rd day. Now you have done around 9 topics, and that is a very big achievement, by the way. Okay, so if you follow it the right way, I am pretty sure that you guys will be able to complete this. And once you have done 9 topics, now you have done the major chunk of the syllabus. You can say that you have completed 80% of the syllabus, and that means if you have done this the right way, you're already standing at an A grade. I'm pretty sure about that. Why? Because here, at least this comes for at least 25, 30 marks. Okay. And if you combine this with what I said earlier, so 37 or 35 plus 2025, this is actually where it lands you in an A grade. Okay. I know you're going to lose marks, of course, even if you do this absolutely perfectly. You're going to lose marks, of course. So you're going to put in margin for that as well. But it's very realistic that once these topics are done, you'll be standing at a very good grade. That grade can be that grade. If you're done it perfectly, that grade can also be an A. Okay. So this is how it stands after 33 days, right? Yeah. Okay. So then you have a rest. You have a rest day. See, the way I've planned this, you have got already 3 rest days inside it. I think there would be another one. So basically, you're covering the entire syllabus in 41 days, actually. Okay. So now then you have day 35, you have experimental techniques and chemical analysis. You're going to do it for 2 days, right? And then you have 37, 38, which is metals. Okay. And then you have electrochemistry for 39 and 40, and then you have 41 revision of all of these topics, and then you can take a rest. As I said, you'll have one more rest. And then the last 2 days, you need to solve some ALEs as well. The reason I would recommend this is because we solve a lot of topics. Because even I did this. When I went into my chemistry paper, I didn't solve one ALE. And even though I ended up with a good grade, but it would have been a lot better if I had just seen some pattern as to how this question works. Because you see, doing topicals is one thing and doing ALEs is one thing, because when these come in, like when it comes in one form of paper, at time it is very difficult to find out which concept is being applied, or which topic is this question coming from. So it's very important that you do at least 2 to 3 4 yearlies. I know that you won't have that sort of time, so I'm suggesting 2 yearly papers, which are the most recent ones, the May June 2025 and the October November 2024. I think May June 2025 would be released by a few days now. Okay, so once you have done these 2 papers, then you just have to pray for yourself. You just have to keep believing have a firm belief in yourself and on the things that you have studied. And one thing I would suggest is that you don't you see on the 45 day, I think that might be the exam day or just one day before the exam. You shouldn't be learning any new concept. Leave it, honestly, leave it. Like, if you think it's worth it, maybe 2 to 3 marks, then you can probably can learn a new concept if it is tested so much. But if it is not, you shouldn't be doing or learning any new concept on one day before the exams, because you have already done such a lot of things that if you now at this time, if you keep feeding your brain something, it's not gonna take it. It's gonna forget all of what you have studied before. So what we advise, and probably one thing that our teachers advise as well, but we never listen. And a lot of people, I know you guys are not going to listen to this as well. But a good suggestion is that you shouldn't be revising, or you shouldn't be doing any new concept. You should revise, of course. You should revise you should skim through the papers, see for what are the mistakes that you did. You should revise concepts, but don't learn new concepts. if you have done 80% of the syllabus, I am telling you, even doing 80% of the syllabus, 75% of the syllabus to the full extent, to a point where you think that you have absolutely perfected the 75% of the syllabus, you can still go and get an A in that paper. Because 25, 23 marks are already left behind when the threshold comes in. So the threshold lies in 57, 56, or max 60. So you still have a margin of 20 marks. That is a very good margin to have. Okay. And important thing for exam day, you should have a very good sleep, because chemistry is about running your mind. It's about recalling all of what you have learned, recalling all of your memories. So yeah, you should definitely have a good night's sleep, and just pray for yourself, and that's all about it. Okay. I hope that this was good.